Hi everyone, my name is Shah. Today I'm going to discuss about the use of geospatial methods for microplanning and social science. This talk is based on a student research work done a long time ago. I thought it's better or maybe useful for somebody to learn how the geospatial methods can be applied in in education or educational planning, or in other words, identifying the school locations using geospatial methods. It's a case study of a union council in one of the districts in Punjab in Pakistan. So the primary purpose of this research was to identify the potential school sites at the local level by mapping and analyzing the existing inequalities in access and distribution of existing schools based on reliable baseline data. That's I'm going to show you how we will collect that reliable baseline data. So before going into the details, I just want to say a few things about the education. Education provides the baseline for socio-economic development. Illiteracy is meant to sustain economic growth, social development, and gender equality, people empowerment, and reduction in poverty and burden of disease. We can use the improvement in literacy ratio over the time, but the issue is the number of illiterates are increasing in Pakistan, and in 2005 the number crossed 54 million. So in terms of over on the other hand, the situation of school attending children is not encouraging. In 2005, out of school children of 10 to 14 age group was more than 5.8 million, as compared with 4.2 million in 1998, which is 15% increase in 7 years. At the primary level, the participation rate is increased more than 30%, but still need to think about 20% out of school children, and more important, there is a need to reduce the dropout rate at this level. So government has introduced some national schemes for non-formal education. Non-formal basic education community schools are providing a second chance to out-of-school children of the 5 to 14 age group to complete their primary education within the period of 40 months without any break. On the other hand, the rural literacy centers are providing learning opportunities to illiterates of the 15 to 35 age group by conducting 3 to 6 month courses. So most of the schools are single teacher schools with an education of grade 10 at least. The school can be in a teacher's house or a place provided by the community, and there are approximately 20 learners or students are required to start the school. The purpose of this slide is to give you some idea about the study area. In the middle of the province of Punjab, you can see the district Khanewal. It is one of the 35 districts at that time in the province, plain land with a good irrigation system. So administratively, District Khanewal was divided into 4 tehsils and 100 union councils, and there are over 600 villages, or in other words, a Moza, which is the lowest level of geography in when we're talking about the census data. According to 1998 census, there were more than 2 million people with a population density of 475 persons per square kilometer. So the location of the union council you can see on this map, and there are some statistics about this union council before the survey. So overall, this research applies three main steps. First one is we conduct the mapping, second one is conduct a household survey, and finally we combine both information together and start the micro planning. So these are the three stages which I'm going to be explained in the next couple of slides. So in the mapping process, we started with a census maps, and which they use to identify those scattered population within the mazas or villages, and then with the help of online resources including the Google Earth, so we digitize those maps and prepare a map where we can see all those settlements, scattered population, location of the main villages, all those all the population sites were mapped on the union council map. Now there were different methods we apply, handmade sketches, converted them, and then also validation with the help of the local staff, revenue department to verify those maps. After that, household survey was planned and conducted. Initially, we finalized the questionnaire, and then we prototype and see how much time it will take to fill the questionnaire, and by the expected people who are going to be involved in the data collection activity. So first one, in the planning process, we started the estimation of household sites. So the previous map, which we discussed, was used to identify those sites, and then we select the total 20 people from those communities, those who are going to be run that as a part of the team. They are going to be collect the data. So survey training was conducted by the students to as a lead team lead in this overall activity, and in the during the training, one of the activity we will did, we assign the areas to each and every the survey team members. So there were, as we know, there are 20 people we shortlisted for that. Two become the team leaders, and 18 people were directly involved in the data collection and the interview. So according to the basic estimates, we found there's about approximately 200 households per person. They need to be collect the data from those households, and we estimated 10 days, 20 household per day per person, and survey monitoring and data validation verification was done by those 5 students who were leading their project, and data entry and cleaning were also done by the student. And once we done those cleaning, and we start preparing map for education planning. So these are the steps we apply for data collection and preparing the map. So once the data is collected, and we prepare the universal map. In this universal map, you can see the 7 villages are shaded differently, and those locations and population sites are so you can see they are the size of those locations are by the number of people living in that location based on the survey data. So overall, we have a 20 over 22,000 population, and there were like main people's like 67% population living in the main location of the villages. So 7 villages, so 67% population living, over 67% living in those locations, and 32%, approximately 32% populations were scattered and living in small settlements or communities away from the main location. And then we have all those other estimates which is required for the planning purposes. Among them, we collect the electricity information as well, how many households are having access to electricity. Home ownership is also there, and we also have a status of the household, whether they have bricks or concrete, or they use any other material for the construction. So there are a number of reports we produce. One of the report at the union council level, and then we have a number of out of school children and illiterates breakdown by the village level, and the same information is further breakdown by the communities, which we saw on the map. So in this case, we this information can be used to start the micro planning, and we can see those scattered population, and by the target population of a literacy center and a non-formal primary school. And finally, we use plot all this information on the map and calculate the distance of each community from the existing school. For example, this in this slide you can see the data is showing for the girls population, girls out of school population, and the distance of the community from the existing school which providing the girls primary education. And the color you can see the distance from any nearest school is starting from 0.75 kilometer, and anything which is orange and red is more than 1 kilometer away from, and it's a linear straight line distance. So it means if somebody is actually walking to the school, it will take more than that distance to reach the school. So this map is giving us two kind of information. One is basically where you can see the scatteredness. The populations are scattered, and most of the in most of the cases, if you want to see how to read it, so these are total population and out of school population in that case. So that's a comparison. If you see there are two girls in that age groups, and one is out of school, and this is the 19, and 9 is out of school. So this is a way you can see, you can read this information. So this map is used to identify the sites, and we narrowed down all the possible locations based on the availability of the grade 10 teacher, which to ensure the school site. And as a result, we published this work and as a conference paper, and along with my other two colleagues, one of the students who really contributed in that paper. So we published together in a conference paper.